So one of the issues with translation is often your translator is not a native English speaker. So if you translate from English to another language, there can sometimes be misunderstandings by the translator when they're translating. So you have a process in place to try to help the translator on the front end, but then also on the back end, you're doing a lot of editing, fixing some of those misunderstandings. So what we've done at Translator Toolkit is try to help give an aid to translators, especially those who are speaking English as a second language, that we can load a document into the document modernizer and prepare it or simplify it for translation. And what that will do is actually break apart complex sentences. It will show idioms and give definitions of words to help the translator understand how they should translate something. So let's give an example. And this is actually something that's been improved with ChatGPT 5. We're actually recommending using ChatGPT 5 Mini, which is a new version of ChatGPT that does a great job with this. So first I'll actually go through a document that was done with ChatGPT 4.0, and we'll see that it does a pretty good job. You could translate that literally, and it might not make any sense depending on your target language, because maybe that is not something that is ever said. But generally, this was a good first step in translation. But let's go ahead and load up the document modernizer from the Translator Toolkit dashboard. We open the document modernizer. We're going to simplify text for translation. We also have modernize old English text, and then you can also do a custom prompt if you like. We have the option to include the original source. That's what you just saw, that we can have the original source on the left side and then the simplified or modernized version on the right hand side. This is what we recommend, so that your translator is still translating the original source material, but then has a help. If they get stuck, they can check. And we recommend the translator read both before they translate, so that there can be an understanding. So let's upload in the settings here. We are going to use GPT 5 Mini. It's a little bit slower than 4.0, but in my experience works a lot better. So we start the document modernization and it will process, and then you can download. And if we go through the word sound in English, the first definition that would often come to a translator's mind is like hearing something, right? But in this case, it's the sound steady means well made or reliable, right? Reliable study. And the same intellectual, thinking only activity. Commune is kind of an older word that maybe, they might not be familiar with, so it does the definition, have a close spiritual fellowship. So anyway, we hope that this will be helpful in your translation workflows and allow for a more accurate translation, so that when you get to the editing step in your translation workflow, that there'll be a lot less to edit because the translator understood. Before, our team would do this manually. We'd do what we call a front translation, and we'd go through, a native English speaker would go through, or sometimes non-native English speaker, but someone that had higher skill would go through and find idioms, talk about passages and add comments of places that were more difficult to understand for the translator. But in this case, ChatGPT will do it for you, and then you can just have a quick glance, double checking, is everything good? And then you can send this to your translator for them to work off of. And so hopefully this will greatly increase translation accuracy, faithfulness to the author's intent, and also speed things up because you'll be correcting a lot less mistakes. So check out translatortoolkit.com for more tools to use in your translation workflow.